Well, our moms think we're funny.
Yeah, so, what's up, guys? Welcome to our podcast.
I'm trying so hard not to play into this with you. I'm just, okay, deep breath in.
So,
let it out slowly.
this is our podcast. Our moms think we're funny.
Hey everybody, this is Turk182, and welcome to another episode of Our Moms Think We're Funny.
My name's Acomi.
This guy right here, his name is Acomi.
I love how stressed out that makes you.
Damn it, I take this shit seriously.
So, how's everybody doing? We're all good?
Really?
It's good.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened?
You probably had it coming.
Oh, no, that sucks, dude. Something like that happened to me once. Well, not exactly like that.
Yeah, I didn't even know you owned a ferret.
No. Well, I mean, eventually it'll come out. So, what are we going to talk about today, Acomi?
Well, yeah, I've got a little build up here.
Okay.
So, we just posted, at the time of this recording, we just posted our episode about what dream jobs we would want to have.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was a fun episode. Not our funniest, but fun. But one thing that we talked about was, like, stoner culture and how, you know, we as nerds are very enthusiastic about what we're into, but we look at a lot, and not all, but we look at a lot of aspects of stoner culture as, like, that's showing a little bit too much dedication to something you're enthusiastic about. Like, you know, we're not going to wear, like, full head-to-toe clothing embroidered with, you know, whatever pop culture thing that we're into, whereas we've seen people who do that with, like, with weed. Where it's like, yeah, here's a hat with weed, and here's my neck tattoo with weed, and earrings shaped like marijuana leaves,
Right.
and a hoodie, and shirt, and pants, and underwear, and all that, and it's like, that's a little bit too much. So that kind of kicked off the conversation between us that we decided needed to be recorded, which is, you know, how much is too much when it comes to nerd culture? You know, at what point do we look at something and we go, you know, that, as much as I might like Marvel, that's a degree that I'm not personally going to take it.
Right.
So I'm going to kick this off by showing you a video, not a video, showing you a picture that I found of somebody's social media account. Just want you to read this, look at it, enjoy it, and we can start off by discussing it, because this to me is a little bit too much. Everything's censored, so I don't know the guy's name, but this is from his Facebook page. So before you read the caption, explain to everybody what you're looking at here.
Okay, so I'm looking at a guy with is that a piece of paper in his mouth?
Toast. It's a piece of toast.
That's a piece of toast.
Yep.
Okay. He's balding with, like, sprigs of curly blonde hair, some thick, bushy Ken Masters eyebrows. And he's standing in front of a power line, a pole. He's got toast in his mouth and just a pretty average-looking, schlubby guy.
Kind of a come-hither look. So go ahead and...
Is that what that is?
Go ahead and read his caption here.
Oh, it's at the very top?
Yeah, it's at the top.
Okay. Found myself rushing to campus eating toast today. I had to take a selfie with the toast hanging from my mouth. This is more proof that I'm living in anime.
It's 15 likes on that photo at the time of that screenshot.
Kawaii as heck. Kawaii Desu Sugo. I guess it's
Sugoi.
Okay. All right. So, much like sex in the present day, I don't get it.
I mean, this is a guy who's so enthusiastic about anime that he's going to recreate a very well-known anime trope.
Of just like running late to school and like eating breakfast on the way.
Yeah, which it's more common in anime and manga aimed at females, but yeah, there's always that opening establishing panel of them, and like they talk about it in the book Even a Monkey Can Make a Manga. They talk about how like that's such a trope that you always have to open those types of stories with the protagonist running to school with the toast hanging out of their mouth. So,
but I mean that's. Oh, a trope it may be, but I mean, even I don't want to say like even myself, but because I don't eat breakfast on the weekdays, but this is a common thing where like I'm running late for work. Let me grab a Pop-Tart, a power bar, or whatever it is. The fact is, and by the way, that's not a piece of toast. That's just a piece of white bread.
That was bread. Yeah,
that's not even toast. It's not toasted in any way. It's just white bread.
And so, like, for me, it's not... The too much aspect isn't the fact that he's taking a picture of his food, which lots of people do. And I don't, like, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't...
There was a person at work the other day that just had a simple breakfast that they had, ordered from someplace. And as I was walking by, I saw them taking a picture of it. And I'm like, again, I don't understand why people do that. Are you, like, why are you taking pictures? Are you going to go back and look and be like, oh, man... I think we talked about this before. Like, like, oh man, I remember one time when I had that. That was so delicious. And we're like, wait, like, are you trying to? If I saw a picture of somebody's meal, unless it was something just absolutely just extravagant, like, wow, look at that shit, I wouldn't give a fuck about you and your food.
So, like, I mean, and I'm not really, I don't really get that either. Now, I have seen guys like Stan Sakai, creator of Usagi Yojimbo. He does it when he's traveling the world. But he's doing it to say, hey, look at this awesome food you can get in Thailand. You don't get that in America.
Right.
And so, like, that's kind of like this thing of, like, here's some different culture for you. Look at this awesome meal that you can get if you leave the country. And, like, I get that, but,
if I'm in a different country and I'm taking a picture of, like, oh, hey, look at this thing I got.
Yeah.
At this, this restaurant, whatever, in another country.
Versus, here's my avocado toast for today. But yeah, no, like, I don't think the issue I have with this is the fact that he's taking a picture of his breakfast. It's the fact that it's like, I have to take a selfie of myself reenacting a thing from anime. And I'm not just doing this because I'm kind of critical of anime.
Kinda.
Strongly. I feel like I would, be doing this no matter what cartoon somebody was deciding to reenact, that I would be saying in it, this is too much, Like, if you saw somebody, like, skipping down the road like SpongeBob chanting, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, it's like, that's too much. And curb your enthusiasm here, just a bit, please.
Yes, so don't go around dressed like Larry, whatever his name is. I almost said Larry Drake, but the guy that was that Curb Your Enthusiasm thing. So it's a TV series,
So, yeah, I mean, I figured that would be a good springboard point for us to just discuss, like, how much is too much, because I think we've both exhibited a lot of our fandom and our enthusiasm, and I think we've done it to, like, some more extent than others at different times, but I like to think that we've never gone that far. Of, like, I'm going to post on my social media me reenacting my favorite female protagonist running late to school,
Right. So, as you said, from time to time, I've, displayed my, not appreciation, I just say my love of whatever it is, whether it's movies, anime, comic books, whatever. But it goes to a certain extent. People, there's a lot of friends that I have tattoos, and some of them have, more, you see more of it with comic books, but they have comic book tattoos. Like that guy works at the Papa John's down the street that has the Bob's Burgers tattoo.
Yeah.
Right? he likes Bob's Burger. It's actually a cool looking tattoo the way it's done because it's more of like a minimalist symbols of each of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really neat. So, but I mean, he's got the tattoo. He's got a couple other tattoos or whatever. I mean, and that's all I ever see of him is when he's at work and I'm picking up a pizza.
Right.
So I don't know exactly how far he goes, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't change his name to Bob. He hasn't adopted like 3 kids or. So, but there's a point where it does go too far. I have my T-shirts. I don't have any tattoos. I've got some T-shirts. I got some shoes.
And, I don't think I would ever get a pop culture tattoo myself.
So,
I mean, I'm fine with tats. I've got a tattoo, but I don't think I would ever get one pop culture-y.
Yeah. Well, maybe I would, but it would depend. So I knew a girl I used to work with, and she had a Wu-Tang tattoo. It's just the Wu-Tang symbol. Which is fine, but I can't ever see myself getting a tattoo of a band because kind of. So let's say it was something like the Stones, right?
Right.
Stones has a proven track record, and if I was a huge Stones fan, yeah, I might get the lips and tongue. If obviously if you're a Grateful Dead fan, you're going to get a tattoo. That goes without saying. But what's that chick that's kind of cute, kind of not it's the tattooist chick. She used to have a show on for a while. She married that guy, Jesse James.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, shit. The people listening, they know who I'm talking about. Anyway, she had head to toe covered in tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And while I'm not against tattoos, sometimes, depending on what it is and how many they have and where they are, they really can just kind of turn me off. But she had a tattoo of the band Him. Do you know the band Him?
I don't.
You don't know Him?
Not right off the
Him
top
was
of my
really
head.
popular 15 years ago. I don't know if anything...
That was right when I was in the thick of being in the super culty church, so...
I don't know anything that they... they weren't a group that I followed. I think I heard their music once or twice or whatever, and it was eh. But they had a tattoo of the band, the band symbol. Kat Von D, that's who it is. So she had a tattoo of him, and maybe it was on her knuckles or something. Anyway, I'm but do you really like the band that much? And are you going to continue to like the band that much to where, you would get a tattoo of them? Because though I like, a band that just comes out and maybe I like their, they've got 2 or 3 albums out and they're really good, they could go real shit after that real quick. Mm-hmm. And that tattoo says, I like this band enough to get them tattooed on my body. Not just a tattoo of the symbol of the band and then just saying just albums 1, 2, and 3. It's you're saying I'm a fan of all their work. If I got a tattoo of, if I got a tattoo of I don't know, my girlfriend, right? And her name, and then we broke up, I'm not going to keep that tattoo, or I'm not going to put on there a tattoo of her name and then put from 2012 to 2015.
You can just have that name crossed out and then just add the next name down below it.
Right. So there's a lot that goes with that. If you're saying I'm going to get that with a comic book or anime character, those they get pretty iconic.
Yeah.
And so you expect those things to change. Now, there was a brand new character, a brand new comic book character that just came out. And they're oh yeah, I'm going to get him tattooed, or her tattooed on me. I'm and then next thing you know, their comic book doesn't exist anymore. And you're what the hell is that? Yeah, it's this show, this comic book. And it was yeah.
While the whole the book tattoo thing is not for me personally, I've seen some that are really cool.
I've seen a lot of them that are really cool.
And, our friend the Rapping Ronin.
Yeah.
He's got that Nancy tattoo, but it's like it's Nancy's head, but then like a skull and crossbones underneath it.
Yep.
And that's so freaking cool. I love it.
All right, so here's Kat Von D.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of tattoo.
Oh, that's just you. You're just looking at like her from like the neck up. But yeah, she is like covered in tattoos. But kind of getting back to the whole thing is like, and so now I'm just gonna look up the band Him again. I'm not trying to make fun of her, right?
Right.
She is what she is. And I mean, it doesn't really affect me one way or the other. It's not like I'm a huge fan of hers or whatnot.
And what I wanted to, make clear coming into this is that this is more just like what's too much for us,
Right.
It's not saying, oh, you suck as a person if this is what you do or this is how you express your fandom.
Right. It's like where is the line drawn?
Right. Because like I can't like mock cosplay because during that one con I was done up like Tyler Durden, and like I don't have an issue with cosplay. It's just when you like allow it to control your life. I guess I just want to see moderation in everything, basically. But
well, I think everything has to have moderation,
even moderation.
Yeah. So Him was apparently popular from according to Wikipedia from 1991, 1993. And then from 95 to 2017, I shouldn't say popular, I guess that's when they were together and making music. And just because you haven't heard of them doesn't mean that you're like, oh, you haven't heard them, so they must not be shit. But I mean, I haven't heard them or their name or whatever in a long time.
Right.
But here's the interesting thing about them is they originated out of Helsinki, Sweden, Finland.
Huh.
Sorry, that's a Die Hard joke for any of you people that know Die Hard. But again, if we're talking about like when fandom goes too far or like what's too far to us, if you're making a something I guess is permanent, and you're saying in this case, I'm gonna like this till the end of time, no matter what they do. So in this case, if she's like, no matter what, I'm always going to like that band that doesn't exist anymore and people probably aren't going to know who they are or anything else, which is fine. If people don't have to like or understand or know, what it is that you like and understand and know and blah, blah, blah. But that felt to me from looking at it was very impulsive. Like, I like this right now in the moment, and I want to kind of tell people in the moment. Like the woman I was saying that has a Wu-Tang. If she's still a big Wu-Tang fan, that's great. But there was a long time where Wu-Tang wasn't doing anything. And you've kind of committed yourself to saying that, no matter what, I'm always going to like this band, even though, like, the last, 5 or 6 albums they did is garbage.
Right.
And I'm not saying that about Wu-Tang, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
So, it's...
Well, and I think there's a danger in, stuff gets controversy.
Yeah.
Like Cerebus was the shit for a long time in the indie comics scene, and then Dave Sim dropped his anti-feminist manifesto, and suddenly, Cerebus wasn't the shit to a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, that's a whole different podcast. I don't think that Dave Sim is like the devil incarnate like people like to pretend. I don't even think he's crazy like people like to pretend. But I'm just saying, I think there's a lot of people who could have gotten a Cerebus tattoo and then realized oh wait, his views don't necessarily reflect my views. And then you have to explain to people that it's oh no, this is just, Cerebus pre-issue 183 or whenever it was.
Right.
It's well, now that's a bit awkward for you, isn't it?
That's for me, when it came to Cerebus, I just wore a black vest. And then when people were like, you wearing a Cerebus vest? No, it's just a vest, asshole. Jeez whiz. Can't a guy just wear a vest? But no, it's so I've got my shoes, a couple comic book character shoes, some T-shirts.
Yeah, see, I'm all about expressing yourself through that clothing as long as it's not a head to toe ensemble.
Right.
And I wear the Tyler Durden jacket all the time, even when I'm not trying to do a Fight Club thing. It's just I like the jacket. It's a good color.
Right.
It looks classy.
And now, if I could get a tattoo, would I get a tattoo? Well, I mean, maybe I'd have to find a really good character that I'd want to get a tattoo of. I mean, prior to 8-10 years ago, something with the Infinity Gems would have been cool. But now
everybody.
Right. But now it's associated with one thing, as where my association would be with something else. So let's say, for example, if I was going to get a tattoo, if I got the lion symbol from the Hattori Hanzo blade
Oh yeah,
tattooed on my arm.
that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's something that I like, and that would be kind of cool. It'd be unique, and it's representative of a specific thing. Bam, that's what it is. It can't be altered, misconstrued for something else. Unless of course, like later on, he does something different with the character. But more than likely, it just is what it is. So there's certain things but for me, it would have to be something that would be like it's going to be representative of a particular thing, and I want it to be that thing. Like for example, I love Guy Gardner. If I was going to get a Green Lantern tattoo, I couldn't just get the ring because you can be like, oh. You was like, oh, which Green Lantern is it? It's like, no, I want it to be Guy Gardner. It's like, what could I do that was going to represent just that one thing?
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like how we really like Jonah Hex from the Batman animated series and the comics, but we don't like the movie version of Hex.
Right.
And it's like, well, you don't just want that that catch-all thing. Because then people are going to think, oh, well, you got sucky taste.
Yeah, and that I learned my lesson of that the hard way when I went through my big Jonah Hex phase and I got that Confederate flag tattoo. And I was like, that was a backfire. Whoops.
Didn't think that one through at all.
I was like, no, it's for Jonah Hex. Oh. So yeah, you got to be careful. But yeah, but that's not even talking about moderation. I'm not sure. No, you and I didn't have a conversation about cosplay. I had a conversation with someone else about cosplay, and I'm going to say this. And I'm going to go on record as saying this, but I'm going to clarify my statement, which is I can't stand cosplay, and I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it again.
We have discussed this. Yes,
I fucking hate cosplay. Now. I like people that dress up in costume. Mm-hmm. If you want to dress in a costume to, walk around dressed as your favorite character, that's cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's kind of awesome. I like that people feel open. They want to, show this and display this. I'm like, yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, I've got a caveat to add to that, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Thank you, Kanye. So I think that's kind of cool. I do think that. You've got to, you really have to kind of embody that character in some way. I would not like myself just oh, look at me, I'm Thor. But
so you're saying you would not cosplay as Jonah Hex?
I would not cosplay as, well, okay. With Jonah Hex, the only difference the only thing that would not be Jonah Hex-ish is that I'd be black and not white. But if I put the scar on my face and all that and dressed in the clothing and carried it, I would look like Jonah Hex.
I think you could make it work with the way your hair is and all that. It would actually be pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But, I couldn't right now as myself just paint myself blue and be like, I'm Dr. Manhattan. No, you don't look anything like that character. Not at all.
Yeah, oh god. So that it's a little bit off topic, but I do want to talk about body paint too.
So I like people that dress up. I like people that want to show their fandom and their love of certain characters and whatnot.
I like people who really put the talent and skill into it.
Right.
And we've talked about that with the Fat Thor stuff. Mm-hmm. That okay, if you're just going to be like, hey, I'm fat and got a nappy beard and long unwashed hair. I'm just gonna throw on some pajama pants and a hoodie, and I'll be Fat Thor. And it's like, well, no, there's no skill or effort put into that.
Like we saw one not too long ago to Con. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even wearing some people will actually try to get their outfit to match. They'll try to get the right robe or whatever. Right. This guy was just in any kind of long robe and pants and shirt, and had the tackiest of nappy beards. I don't even know where the hell they got it from. It was I knew what he was trying to be, but it was it's the worst version of that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And we've seen some bad versions.
Oh, yeah, we've seen some awful ones.
So I'm going to let you get your thing here, but the difference between what I'm saying is dressing up and cosplay is that the people I've seen that are cosplayers, they're just dressing in costumes and going to cons and things to be seen. Yeah. They're not there to actually interact with anybody at the con. They're not there to buy anything. They're not, and for what I've seen,
they
the
get
people
mad
that are doing
if you try to engage with them.
They just want to get their picture taken and be seen by people, and they're not there to buy anything. I don't even think, for the most part, the ones that I have kind of like seen or interacted with, they're not even fans of that culture. Mm-hmm. It's just like, this is popular, I want to dress up as it, and they pick the most popular character at the time that's going to get them the most exposure, and that's what I'm going to dress as, but I don't really know anything about the character, because you can tell, because some people will, like, people that dress as, like Harley Quinn, which you always see a lot of Harley Quinn, the majority of them are dressed as the current incarnation of whatever it is that's in the media. Mm-hmm. You know, but you never see them dress as like one from the comic books. Yeah. You know, you never see that version. You always see the most popular media representation.
Yeah, you see the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn.
Right. If you're going to a con, right, you can't be like, well, people aren't going to recognize this version. Yeah, they will. You know? Be like if you dress as like the Batman from, what is that thing? I can't remember what his thing is, but the Batman that wears like the yellow and purple and red outfit, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, it's like the Zanzibar Batman or something like that.
Something like that.
It's awesome. That's like one of my favorite takes.
If you just walked around just like that, people are like, what the hell is with, like, you know, like Rainbow Flag Batman, right? Mm-hmm. But like, no, but if you go to a con, people are going to recognize you. Yeah. So, and that's pretty much where you go to con. Nobody like just walks around town cosplaying. Like, look at me.
That was my caveat. That's what I was going to bring up.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say anything more about it. But I'm saying when you go to a con, people that are dressed up and they're specific characters. Yeah. But cosplayers are just whatever's popular at the time, and you're not there to be a part of, you know, what's going on here. You're just there to be seen, and you're capitalizing, whether it's monetarily or whether it's, you know, for your own ego or whatever it is. You're capitalizing off of that, but you're not really a part of it.
And Instagram clicks.
Yeah,
I want to see somebody cosplay as the Korean animated Batman, who, like, he also had a bright, garishly colored costume, but he shot laser fingers.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, if somebody committed to that, I would be totally into that. And that's what I keep going back to with Fat Thor, is like, don't just be a fat guy in pajama pants and a robe. You know, show me Fat Thor in battle mode. You know?
Right.
Get the hair up in, like, the ponytail, get the beard braided, get that armor and the hammer and all that. Like, do battle-ready Fat Thor from the fight scene. I would be totally into that. That would look badass, but nobody does that.
I know someone that wants to dress as fake Harley from the Batman animated episode Joker's Millions.
Yeah.
And fake Harley is awesome. and I know, like, that'd be awesome if you did that. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see. And I'm gonna say hot chick just because generally when you talk about someone like a Wonder Woman or a Wonder Woman or a Starfire or Harley, it's generally be someone that's going to show a lot of skin because that's the costumes. Mm-hmm. But if I'd love to see a hot girl dressed as Starfire with the Jeff mask from Teen Titans Go.
Oh yeah,
that would be the shit to me. So Jeff. she's just all Starfired out, but then is like, I got the Jeff mask on. Yep. I'd be like, that's perfect. That's awesome.
Yep, but that would be fantastic.
So I like people that dress up. I don't like cosplayers because it'd be like me going to a bake-off and then buying a bunch of shit from, like, you know, like Sara Lee or whatever, and then putting on a tray and be like, yes, look at how well my presentation is. Like, but
just sitting there with a box of Little Debbie's.
Right. It's like, but wait a minute. We're all here because we like to bake or whatever. It's like, yeah, but I like to put on a good show. Yeah, I don't really care about the baking aspect of it. I don't even like desserts, but I do like to put on a show and get a lot of attention. Like, how long would that shit last?
Right, yeah.
You know, you get thrown out like like Jazzy Jeff on a episode of The Fresh Prince. Wow!
But yeah, no, so I will bring up my caveat, which is you were saying, you know, if you cosplay at a con. But it's like, but I have seen people who cosplay outside of the con scene, and I've got a problem with that. And, like...
where have you seen this?
The ramen place in Noak.
Like they come in there dressed up as like Naruto or some shit like that.
He was dressed up like Sasuke from Naruto, yeah. Weeb Central, man. That is the problem with being an aficionado of ramen, is that you expose yourself to this shit.
Okay, so first off, if you're doing something like that, you got some serious fucking problems that go way beyond, like, ugh.
Well, I mean, and again, we've talked about, we have the shirts that represent our fandom. Me, I'm a big fan of, like, replica shirts from movies. Like, I've got the motocross shirt that Tyler Durden wears in the Shatner discussion of Fight Club.
Kinda.
It's pretty close.
Well, oh, you got the motocross one, not the Hustler one.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
no, no, that, because those are like $300. I can't afford them.
And plus, you just got your Batman vs Superman shirt.
Yep. I got the Banksy shirt that Lex Luthor wore. So like, I love that kind of stuff, and I've actually almost bought the shirt from Think Geek that Tony Stark wore with the I'm missing an electron. Then he gave it to Peter Parker.
Well, I don't know if he gave it to him. He's just wearing it.
Yeah, he's wearing it. But,
it's like, are you positive?
yeah. Like I love that. So like I've thought about buying that one. But it's
just like do you own the Bruce Lee turntables?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I wear that one all the time.
See, I thought about buying that one, but then I went to a con, and I saw every freaking body in the world wearing one, and was like, nope.
So like I've got that, and I've got the Black Sabbath '78 tour shirt. I've actually got that in my bag right now that Tony wears in the first Avengers movie.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an awesome shirt. So like, and it's that kind of thing where people are like, oh hey, you've got that shirt, from that movie. That's cool, and I like that aspect of it, and I appreciate it when I see people wearing that. Now there are times when it's oversaturated, like after Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out.
Oh, everybody was wearing that Yeah Baby shirt.
Everybody had the Yeah Baby shirt, and like, I mean, and that's the thing. Like for half a second, I was like, I should get me a shirt like that because of my fondness for getting the shirts, and I was like, no, this movie's too hot. And we went to that next con, and we saw like 16 or 17 people wearing that shirt. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
So, but yeah, there's a very big difference between like, oh, I'm wearing a shirt from Scott Pilgrim, or I'm wearing a shirt from like Pulp Fiction.
Don't you have almost every Scott Pilgrim shirt? You got the Plum Tree shirt.
Probably about half of them, yeah. And he wears a lot of shirts.
You don't have the Star shirt, the Smashing Pumpkin Star shirt, do you?
Yeah, I do.
You do? I don't think I've ever
seen
no,
not the Zero shirt.
Yeah, sorry, Zero.
So let's see. I've got the SP Smashing Pumpkin shirt. I've got the Plum Tree shirt. The Pixel Skull. The Match Pick shirt that he wears when he has the package delivered to his house. Mm-hmm. The Fantastic 4.5 shirt.
That's just an awesome shirt.
That's a fun shirt.
The Franklin Richards shirt is awesome.
That's a really good one. I've got his Astro Boy shirt, but it's not a ringer because they stopped selling the ringer version of it. I've got the quotation marks one. What else? Is that all? I think that's all. So I've probably got like 2/3 of the ones that appear in the movie. So I've actually got to round out that collection.
You're almost there.
I'm getting there. There's still that Canadian like CBC shirt that he wears with all the CDs on it.
I'm not sure if I know that one. Or remember it, rather. I know it.
Yeah, you'd know it when you saw it. And I've got to get that SARS shirt of his.
Oh, the Resident Evil shirt?
Yeah. So, but yeah, and but there's a really big difference between that versus wearing like a costume and wearing like the entire thing that person wears. And you might be able to get away with that if they kind of like if that character wears like normal clothes. Mm-hmm. Like you could technically wear a Scott Pilgrim quote costume, and the only thing that would really look unusual was like the whole wristband thing.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
I mean, every time I put on, like a jacket, baseball cap, and sunglasses, I'm technically any Marvel hero in disguise.
you're incognito Marvel guy. But then, like, when you're dressed full bore in an anime costume and dressed up like Sasuke and have like the wig and the high collar trench coat and all that shit, that to me is too much.
That is too much. And out in public, just because I'm going to a ramen place, like you're gonna impress them. What impresses them is you being polite and paying for your food and leaving a good tip. That's impressive.
What they like there is when you clean your table off. So big tip out for you folks who go to the ramen bar. But, like, this guy just came in, like, full gussed up like fucking Sasuke, and then he, like, looks over to that soda case that they have there where, like, all the Ramune soda is, and he's like, oh my god, they have Japanese sodas here. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get out of here.
Why would they not at a ramen bar? And you dressed up like, so wait. So this guy dressed up like that to go there. Apparently he's never been there before.
Yeah, it was his first.
But he thought that this was how you have to dress to go to a ramen restaurant. Holy shit, that's racist. You know what? Next time I go to get Chinese food, I'm gonna wear some of those sandals with like and the big like the big straw hat.
The rice hat.
And then I'm gonna like speak and then just keep moving my mouth after the words that come out because I want to show them proper respect, and that's how you do that.
But you have to like disguise your voice like you're being dubbed over by a different voice actor.
And then every once in a while,
hello,
and then
you killed my teacher.
Yes, and when I get some Vietnamese food, I'm gonna be like, "Did him out! You round eye!" You know, yeah, because that's how you do it.
Of course, yeah.
You know, actually, for dinner now we're talking about it. I think there's like a soul food place down the street. We can go and be like, "Yo, what's happening, blood?" And it's like, "Yo, check it like this, mama."
What's up, clam chowder?
Yeah, woman, I dug her rap. My mama didn't raise no fool.
But yeah, just like I don't know, like and it's one of those things where like kind of like pornography. I might not be able to define it, but I know it when I see it. It's kind of that way with like this nerd stuff where it's like I may not be able to define how much is too much, but I know it when I see it. I'm like,
wait. You can't define pornography?
There's like that fine line of like, oh, this isn't porn, this is a TNA film or like whatever. I mean, it's like getting a fully accurate description of exactly when it crosses the line from point A to point porn.
Okay, here yeah, I can clarify this for you. Rodin's The Thinker, right? That's art.
I promise you somebody has masturbated to that at some point.
Oh, probably, but man, people masturbate to anything. You know,
Yeah.
people have foot fetishes, you know? Sorry, QT.
I was about to say, Quentin, give us a call. We still want you on the show.
So, Rodin's The Thinker, that's art. Michelangelo's David, that's art.
Oh, yeah.
If you
David's a beautiful work of art.
If you take David and you put that statue in front of the thinker, they're looking at each other, that's now pornography.
Have you seen the comic about the creation of the statue of David?
No.
Leonardo, like, unveils the statue and everybody's like, oh, it's beautiful, this is the most incredible statue we've seen. But Leonardo, why did you make the penis so small? And he goes, no, it's normal size. Wait, is it small? Oh, no!
Oh, hey, where are we at?
We are at 37 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah, a little bit late, but we can do an ad break.
Yeah, I think we should.
Excelsior, true believers. There's a new podcast called In the Gutter, starring yours truly, Wallcrawler1.
And Turk182 from the podcast Our Moms Think We're Funny.
In the Gutters will explore all of comicdom, from the depths of the Atlantean oceans all the way to the up, and aways of the expanses of the multiverses.
We'll sleep, eat, and full bleed from the local comic shops to the grave for you here on In the Gutters. Please join us for our premiere podcast found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Spotify, and CastBox.
Also, expect X-Men in Claremont.
Lots of X-Men in Claremont.
But hey, we're back, everybody.
Hey, everybody. So, Acomi, you were going on and about, your caveat.
Yeah, people wearing
Is
costumes.
that the guy from Maroon 5?
Probably. Does anybody know what anybody from Maroon 5 looks like?
I used to know what the lead singer looked like, but then every time I see him, he's got more and more tattoos. I think he's slowly trying to just make himself black.
I mean, that's a cool way to do it.
These guys are supposed to be eating ramen, but you can clearly tell this like ramen noodles from like the store because real ramen is not curly like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely 30-cent packs of ramen.
which is there's nothing wrong with that shit.
Oh no,
But
I mean I eat the 30-cent packs. I just like the real stuff better.
I prefer though to go to like the Asian grocer and get like the super hot ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those are so good, dude. If you can't if you can't read anything on the package, right? And
That's the good shit.
right, and the instructions are just like 3 pictures of like the noodle pot and then like 3 wavy lines, like 3 wavy vertical lines to indicate that it's hot. That's the good shit right there.
That is the good shit. My personal favorite, and I've only ever been able to find it at certain health food stores, believe it or not, it's they're Thai noodles, but they come with like crushed up peanuts. It's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Anyway, as usual, we have a movie in the background while we're doing our podcast.
A really shitty movie. I picked it.
Yeah, he did. And apparently there's this bartender at this like fake-ass ramen bar that has a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa in it. And, there's a little nod to Hattori Hanzo there.
Oh.
If you saw behind the bar.
I missed it.
Okay, well, wait and see it again. You'll see the nod to Hattori Hanzo.
This is painfully stupid.
And by the way, I'm just assuming that it's a nod to that. I don't really think it is.
Yeah, I don't think they would be that intelligent with this movie.
But anyway, the bartender, it kind of looks like Adam Levine from the Maroon 5. Not really, but yeah. You see it?
Nah.
Look, it's right there.
Right where? I don't see it.
Look at the background. You don't see the nod to the Hattori
Oh, the
Hanzo.
baseball!
Thank you.
Okay.
Damn, dude.
It was cut off halfway in the top left corner.
Fuck, man.
I like a baseball.
Why'd you do that? That was signed. You're supposed to look at it and be like, "Oh, it's signed." You're like, I know.
So let's see, what else? What other examples do we have here that would be like going too far?
Dressing up outside of a con.
That's a big one.
Con, yeah, that's just crazy. That's beyond going too far. That's mental instability right there.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it was a big thing like during the Matrix too, that people would just like be in like the all black.
Oh yeah,
Like that was really popular for a while.
I think any time that you... So it's one thing to dress up as that particular character. Obviously, you're not going to go to work dressed like that.
Mm-hmm.
So... Like, for example, you mentioned our one friend, right? With the Nancy tattoo.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Big shout out to him. Check out the Rappin' Ronin, everybody.
But when... That's their personal style.
Yeah.
When they're doing something business related or going to their job, that's not how they dress.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're in some kind of fantasy world. Like, this is my style, which is not it's not them copying or imitating like a particular character.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is my style. This is how I like to dress. But I also know that if I've got something serious going on, like, I'm not going to show up at a funeral like the guy from IT Crowd, right?
It's Cradle of Filth. Got me through some dark times, it did.
That's one of the things I always liked about Rob Zombie was I saw an interview with Rob Zombie and he didn't have like the makeup on or whatever. He was just wearing like his cowboy hat. He had long hair, t-shirt on, like a jean jacket. He was just like...
He looked normal.
Right. As opposed to someone like Marilyn Manson. Whenever I've seen Marilyn Manson, he's always been in full regalia.
Yeah.
And that bugs shit out of me. It's like, okay, it's an act. Stop trying to pretend like this is how you always are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't live in a fucking cave, with like skulls and shit like that and like in coffins all over the place. You live in a regular house, and when you go home, you wipe that shit off and you put on a pair of sweatpants and like, so
his poor wife is just like, please, Marcus, just put on the makeup to bed just one time. He's like, God, no, Linda.
It's like, let's just sit back and watch some episodes of The Wonder Years.
Just for once, let me be normal.
Yes. And it's like, I was so great in that show. But then there are people, though, that will not necessarily, like, no one's going to walk around like dressed as Superman, but there will be people that you will see that will walk around like in a Wolverine Logan-esque in everyday life.
Yeah, the white wife beater, the brown leather jacket,
right?
The hair frizzed out to the sides.
They won't have the claws, but
tight jeans and boots.
And people that try to, I think this is the big one. People that try to, like, imitate or portray that character's attitude or their characteristics, which I guess is more of their own insecurities or their desire to be someone different. Which it kind of like what dressing up in cosplay is. Like, for this one day, I want to look like this person or whatever. Which is one of the things that when we're at cons that we absolutely cannot stand is people that are the fucking Deadpool cosplayers.
Yeah.
That one, they don't know who Deadpool is. They think that Deadpool is just some obnoxious asshole that runs around like annoying everybody. It's like, no, that's not what Deadpool is. But I realize that that's who you are.
Right.
You know, and that's annoying as hell. But I think when you, it's one thing to be a fan of something and you can collect and dedicate and, you know, be like, oh, I really like all this stuff. Like, you know, I've got, you know, so for example, at one point, I was a huge fan of General Grievous, from Star Wars until I went and saw.
You, like, attach those extra arms to your body.
Well, yeah, the glue kept coming off.
Told you not to use actual human arms.
Well, I mean, his were robot arms, but then it didn't look right because I'm not a robot. And plus, I had those abs left over from when I did that the Spider-Man, like, I'm turning into a spider like cosplay thing.
Yeah,
and I had all those extra arms.
That was pretty clever.
Yeah, I wish I could have found like actually 4 extra black arms. But you know, whatever. That's why they make paint.
I'm sure nobody noticed.
And until Revenge of the Sith, where they just completely just pushed him out, and I was like, what the fuck? Even though
the negotiator.
I still liked him. I still like General Grievous, you know, even though they pushed him. But I had at work, I kind of used to have like a little bit of I used to have a little bit of who my personality on display, and I had this little mini shrine to General Grievous there, right? But that's all it was. It was just like, oh, I like General Grievous, and here's something. And it was obviously it was for me, not for anybody else. Because when I sat at my desk, it was like I had my stuff there, and it made me feel, you know, good. It was like, it made me feel comfortable having that stuff there. And so that was cool. But that was for me. I didn't dress as him. I didn't walk around talking to people like, ooh. You know, like I'm the precursor to Bane. Nothing like that. I mean, it was just my little area here. It didn't take up a large space. It was just some small little thing.
Racist Grievous.
Yeah.
The Jew.
And you know, and I love Thanos. Like, so I'm looking over at my wall.
Yeah.
And I love Thanos, and I love Clint Barton Hawkeye, and I've got my little displays to them. And you know,
and that's fine. Like, I don't think of that as going too far at all.
Well, no, I was gonna say, so I've got that stuff in that, and you know, when I see something really cool, Thanos, you know, obviously there's a lot of it out right now, so I can't collect everything. But thankfully, when it comes to certain things, I'm very specific with what I like and the style that I like. So any like Infinity War Endgame stuff, that's right out because I like the movie, but I'm not really a Josh Brolin fan, and I don't like his Thanos look overall. I mean, for the movie, it's fine, but that's not what I want to collect. Is that look? I like my classic look.
You don't like the Oldboy remake?
No,
the reinterpretation.
No, I don't know because I haven't seen it all yet.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Let's Watch of that.
Yeah, but we're gonna do the director's cut. It's got like 20 additional minutes of footage.
Yep, it does.
So
most of it is the fight scene.
Wait.
Yes, I don't know if it was actually released, but there is like a director's cut where like it's 20 additional minutes. Were you making that shit up?
I gotta keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, like they extend the big fight scene there to explain why he like is in a totally different place when he stops fighting versus when he gets stabbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I've got my little displays to them, and I try to collect what I can, but. And I know some people, they go way out their stuff. Like, there's like, especially I've seen like some Superman like fans that have like so much stuff. And that's fine, if you collect the thing that you like or whatever. But there's a point where your collection starts to dominate your life. That's where I'm like, you got to rein it in.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is when your interest in your hobby blurs the line between being that interest in hobby and being reality.
Yeah.
And that's when it's too far.
Yeah, it's when it becomes an obsession.
Right. And when that becomes your sole motivation for anything you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's really where it comes down to, is like when that becomes your sole purpose, is to either be, interpret, collect, or whatever, and then it's like, okay, that's too far. It really is too far.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at that point you kind of remove yourself from the rest of the world, and you're putting yourself in a category where other people can't connect to you.
Yeah. Well, it's moving
and
out
that's always a bad thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's because it controls you. It's no longer this thing of, because this is something that resonates with me, I'm going to express myself in a way that it's appreciative of it, and then it becomes this thing of, like, it's consuming me.
Right.
And that's a huge problem. I knew a guy who used to dress up like a hobbit.
Sexually, or?
No,
Oh.
like daily. He would, like, walk down the road dressed as a hobbit. Had, like, the gray cloak and, like, the Tom Bombadil hat and a walking stick, and he would wear, like, open-toed sandals.
Okay, that's but the hobbits don't wear sandals. I guess he had to, because...
I mean, he couldn't have walked barefoot. I mean,
Oh,
my town has a lot of...
so that's the other thing I don't like, so people can't commit.
But yeah, and I mean, shit, I've known people who would, like, talk with accents that they didn't have. I never knew these people, but I've seen people in, like, stores, like, wearing cloaks and stuff, and, like, World of Warcraft t-shirts. All that stuff is too much for me. When you cross the realm of, like, yeah, I'm wearing the shirt from the movie because that's cool, into the realm of I'm wearing a costume or something that's, you know, not even part of this fucking time period, then that's a bit much for me.
Yeah. So one of my friends, Will, and I don't think except I've witnessed him doing it on several occasions. I don't even think he's aware that he does it. But when he's talking to someone and that person has an accent,
He adopts it.
yeah, he will unconsciously start talking in a very similar accent.
No, it's fine when it's unconscious. I mean, I'm not going to judge that.
Because he and I were out somewhere and we were talking to someone, she had a very heavy southern accent, and she was like, y'all is, and yeah, I think that's good because, you know, people like that. And he's like, I know what you mean. And I was like, that's not how you normally talk, Keith Urban. You're Australian. Why are you talking like that?
Shazam!
He was like, all right, well, I'll see you later. Good day. It's like, no, but I mean, he will, knowing him, I know that it's not something he's doing to make fun or whatever. It's just unconscious. So yeah, that's one thing. But you know, purposely talking in a weird accent is like, no. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Now, as far as accents, this isn't really the nerd culture thing. This is more just like friggin' common sense and decency. I feel like I bitched about this before. I used to work with a guy who, if people talked with any kind of an accent, he just could not let it go. Have we talked about this on the podcast?
I don't think so. This is new to me.
Okay, so, like, the first thing is he knew just, like, a modicum of Spanish, and I mean just, like, you know, he took it like a semester in high school kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime he saw anybody who would speak Spanish, then he would have to, you know, kick off with oh, buenos dias, ¿cómo está? And then, of course, they would think, oh, this guy speaks Spanish, and so they would just, like, respond with this stream of Spanish, and he would stare at them blankly, looking like a total idiot because he can't actually carry a conversation. It's like, why do you keep doing that?
Because he's a total idiot.
Yeah, it's like, why do you fucking keep doing that when you know that they're not going to think, oh, this white man learned two sentences in my native tongue. They're going to think, oh, this guy speaks Spanish. That's why he engaged me in Spanish. Let me carry on a conversation in Spanish. More times than I can count, I saw him do that. But yeah, anytime he heard somebody speak...
What would be the point in that? Because you get that opener, and then after that, it's just like you said, you stare blankly. You can't follow it up with anything.
Yeah.
And after the first couple of times, you think, well, if I'm going to do this, I probably need to have something else or learn something else to follow this up with.
You would think.
And you don't do it.
It drove me crazy. And I'm so glad I left that job. But yeah, the other thing, if you ever heard anybody speaking with any kind of an accent, especially something like European or whatever, then he would start grilling them on where they're from. And people never want to, like, talk about that shit because, I mean, how often do is a spectacle made out of yourself based off your accent?
Right.
And
Especially if you're German.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, he harassed some German people. So he'd always be like, oh, that's a great accent. Where are you from? And, I mean, it's like, he'll just be like,
The Upper West Side.
Kentucky. He's like, well, that's not a Kentucky accent. Where are you from originally? And he would always just, like, give him the fucking third degree until he'd be like, I am from Germany. And it's like, for fuck's sake, leave these people alone. So, again, this isn't like a nerd thing or how much is too much. This is just like, just leave people alone.
Right.
If this is you, don't be that.
But, I mean, there is, I was just saying, there's a point where, and specifically with our I don't want to say our culture, but with our interest in things, that it is taken a bit too far. But I think look, very few people in this world are really happy and comfortable with who they are. Yeah. We're content in some ways, we're accepting in some ways, but you're not really that. Not everyone's happy with exactly who they are. There's something about yourself that you wish was different or better that you can change.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation, and I'm not sure which podcast it was, but where we're talking about, I'd love to, have like a tight physique or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I can achieve that. I can start working out and really putting a lot of my time and energy into that. But that takes time and energy away from something else that to me is either something I want to do more, like eat more desserts, or if it's something that is more important to me, like doing the podcast or, fixing stuff around my house or whatever it is. Like, what should I be doing? Should I be like doing this thing right here or working out? Now, if working out is really important to me, right, then that takes over this other stuff here. Mm-hmm. So obviously that is not important to me, but these things are a little bit more important. So I can't achieve that. I wish I had that. And I would say if I could take a pill that would immediately reshape my body and give me the physique I want, actually I wouldn't do it because I didn't earn it.
Right.
Now granted, I would like some fast results. So if you told me I could work out like a half hour a day, 3 days a week, and in 3 months I'd have the physique I wanted, okay, yeah. I'm still, obviously that's not possible. But if I could, at least then I was earning it in some way. I'm doing something that's moving towards that goal.
Yeah.
But just changing myself, no. If I taking a pill and changing it, no. So the point of that is like, there's things about each of us that we're unhappy with. We wish we could change or whatever. But either make it happen or accept that it's not. But don't play this fantasy of that you're somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
Because you're so unhappy with who you are because you're still not that person.
Right. And
and for all you Deadpool people out there that were like, you really think you're Deadpool, just let me stab you a couple times. If you're Deadpool, you'll heal. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But if you start bleeding out, maybe, just maybe you're Joe. You're just Joe.
Yeah, I just don't get why people need a gimmick. You don't have to be the Hobbit guy. You don't have to be the accent guy. Just I don't know.
And this is so unlike me. This is so unlike me. I mean, this is so unlike me. But you know what? I think for some of you people out there that are like that, you're those kind of people. You just need someone to say that you're okay with who you are. Mm-hmm. Who you are is okay. And I think really what you need to do is you need to stop for a moment and just think about who are you. I don't think enough of us do that. We to stop and think a minute and say, who am I really?
Yeah.
Who really am I? I know who I want to be. But who am I? And I think that's what kind of holds a lot of us back, is because we have this image of like who we really want to be, but sometimes who we want to be is not who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, if we can just learn who we are, and then you can actually in some ways get to who you want to be. Maybe not exactly, but you can't do it from standing right where you are right now without learning who you are. So for those people, I'm just gonna say, and I know you really want to jump in, but I'm just gonna say we posted a podcast recently at the time of this recording. We posted the one because that's what spawned this whole conversation here about obsession.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the whole thing with the people that OD'd on water, and I mentioned the woman from the contest, and I was listening to that, and I was like, that some of the things I said came out really, really mean spirited. When I was like, not to say I didn't give a shit about her, but I was like, her death was her own fault. And I wasn't trying to be callous about it, especially when I was like, hey, I feel for her, like the same way. But my point was that people die every second of every day. Hundreds, tens of hundreds of people, thousands of people die a day. And while they're human lives, some of them are good, some of them are bad. Knowing that, I can't cry for all of them. And the thing is, they died whether I knew about it or not. And even if I read about it in the paper, I don't know that person. And I can't sit there and cry and be like, oh, I'm so sorry for this person that I don't know, because I don't know them. It's just not possible for me to take all those emotions into me, and for that. So, and we can't. That's how we walk around as human beings, is that we can recognize something as a tragedy and we say, damn, that sucks. I'm sorry that had to happen to somebody. Now, am I really, really sorry? I'm not really, really sorry, but I realize that, that they're no different from us.
Yeah.
They suffered this tragedy that could have just as well been us. And had it been me, it would suck. And so I recognize just how bad that sucks, and that's unfortunate. And that's really what I'm saying, is that's unfortunate. Not that I'm sorry, because I'm not really sorry because I don't have an emotional connection to you, but it is unfortunate. So with all these things going on there, like that, and I come across, like I said, being just really callous and unfeeling by saying, I'm sorry this happened to this person, but I'm not really sorry. And they brought it onto themselves. Again, I'm not backtracking on that. Yeah, she didn't know, obviously, that this was possible, but at some point, you've got to feel that, wait a minute, I don't feel good. I don't physically feel good. Is this worth it? Is winning it worth what I'm putting myself through? Or like, oh my goodness, some part of me is saying I should stop, and because this is not healthy, or I don't feel right, but I'm going to continue on with it. So what's the ultimate prize here? If it's like a $200 piece of plastic and wires, is that really worth my health? Because if I get really sick and I got to go to the doctor, I can guarantee you right now, just step in the door of that doctor's office emergency room is going to be more than $200.
Oh yeah.
So you got to kind of really think about that. Again, it's unfortunate that she passed away the way she did, or at all. But you kind of did it to yourself. Mm-hmm. So I'm just kind of putting all that in context and going back to that to say this. For all you people out there that, aren't really happy with who you are, or you want to be someone else, right? Really what you just need to be told is that, with some exceptions, and those exceptions being the things about yourself that you're unhappy with, that you don't like, that you want to change, right? You're great the way you are. You as a whole are a good person. Mm-hmm. Now, even if you do some bad things, and I know some of us like to do bad things, right?
I like to smoke cigarettes.
That's right.
Steal from my grandma's purse.
Even if you do those bad things and you recognize that those are bad things, and you shouldn't be doing them, and you're not really happy that you do them, right? And you feel that maybe that stops you from being someone that is worthy of whatever, and that you want to be someone else, just recognize who you are, make those attempts, to move forward and be someone better. And just know that there are people out there, like Acomi and I, that say, hey, you're a good person on the whole. And if there's things about yourself that you want to change, make moves to change those. Even the smallest step forward is still a step forward.
Yep.
And there's people out there that love you. I don't love you. Right? I don't know you. And for me to say I love you when I don't know you, that's the biggest lie. And you'd be like, you don't fucking know me. You can't say it. So I'm not gonna pretend like I do. But I will say, though, that as a whole, I have to believe that most people in the world are good. I couldn't step out my door every day without thinking that most people in the world are good and have a great desire to want to be good and to be better.
Right.
And you're one of those people. And just feel that for yourself and be yourself as a good person and don't try to be somebody else.
Right, yeah. So, I was gonna, we actually need to kind of wrap up. We're right at the hour mark.
We can do it every once. This is our podcast. We can carry this on for like a fucking 6-episode series.
I gotta edit this shit, man.
Oh, you gotta edit this shit. You have a program that you just dump it into. And then you sit around and be like, I'm working on it. I'm working real hard, Turk. I'll have it for you in like 30 minutes. While you sit there and play Egg Band and then be like,
I gotta listen to the whole file these days now that we do ad breaks.
Really? You actually listen to the whole file?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm impressed. I do love you.
Right?
This
Thank
is the
you.
truth, people.
So, shit, where was I? Yeah, so, we were talking about the Shy Boys, and at the time of this recording, we haven't posted that episode, but we will.
Wow, the Shy Boys.
Yeah, the Shy Boys documentary.
I know. I'm just like, wow, the Shy Boys.
It ties in so much with so much of what we're talking about here of they're people who aren't happy with themselves. They're not self-assured or confident outside of the pickup artist.
Oh, yeah.
He's not self-assured or confident either. He's overcompensating for being unconfident.
Right.
And
I think he does realize he's gay too. I think that's a big part. Is he does not realize that he's gay.
What, you mean just because a man screams in terror at the sight of a vagina, that means he's gay?
If he wants to be with women and
Siri, call Tim Kincaid.
if he wants to be with women and he loves women, he thinks that women should, that it's their duty to have sex with him, but he doesn't like vaginas. Yes, he might be gay. I don't think you need Jeff Foxworthy to be like, if you want to have sex with women but are afraid of vaginas, you might be gay.
He almost threw that laptop across the room. Oh God, I hate looking at him. Oh,
I mean,
I wish it was parallel with my dick.
I wish. I have been with some. Remember, I told you the pool table story.
Yeah,
the pool table story. So I have been around some gay guys, and when you talk about vaginas to them, they get physically repulsed. They're like, oh God, I can't even think about it. I don't want to see one. Those things are disgusting. That's how gay guys act. If you act like that again, Jeff, you might be gay. And this combination like Seinfeld and Jeff Foxworthy.
of course, yeah.
It's Jeff
Steinworthy.
Thank you, Jeff Steinworthy.
Jer Steinworthy.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's so much of the thing, and there's you also see with the Shy Boys kind of elements of this how much is too much nerdiness in that you've got that one guy who always wore that anime overcoat.
Yeah.
And insisted that it looked cool and chicks dug it. When I have sex, I'm gonna wear this coat just to prove you wrong.
Look, I have a big, long anime type coat, right? I love this coat. I think it's awesome. I have not worn that coat in about 7 years. And I probably would never put that coat on again. I love that coat. I wish I could wear it all the time. But, yeah. It's not happening.
Hey, shit, with me, being, with the whole shaved head thing, I have to be careful about wearing long coats anyway, because people just think I'm trying to look like Morpheus.
Yeah, and that's also why you can't get any more tattoos.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you're 2 tattoos away from saying, you see Heil. Just...
as long as I don't get them, on my neck or face, I think I'm okay.
Yeah. Or your knuckles.
Or my knuckles, yeah, no knuckles.
And don't get that spiderweb elbow.
God, no.
Yeah.
I had a friend who got, shattered concrete on his shoulder, and that looked pretty cool.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he said that he was doing that to, wear his sins on his sleeve, so I was like, oh, that's actually not bad. But I still think if I were to get a tattoo, and this is funny in light of this episode because we were talking about, don't go too far. I really want the Surrender or Die tattoo from Snowpiercer.
Oh.
And we've talked about it off mic before. But yeah, there's the scene where like they're rushing a bunch of the guards on the train.
I feel real uncomfortable right now.
Me too.
Okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah, no, not you at all.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they were they're rushing the guards on the train, and there's this one guy who has a bunch of tattoos on him, but like he runs and gets the head guard in a headlock and has a knife in his right hand, and like holds the knife up to the guy's throat. And he looks down and sees on his arm the word surrender, and then he turns the knife into the guy's throat and it says die. So it's like surrender or die. The guy's like, I surrender! It's such a cool tattoo.
There was a couple tattoos I wanted to get. I wanted to get my name written in Kryptonian down the length of my forearm.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool because, it's just... and the thing is, only certain people would get it. And of course, we've talked about it before. Is like when we wear or do certain things, the people that get it, and it's like, bam, there's that it's like, hey, because you got this for what it is, as opposed to the other people. There's that kind of like not real connection, but there's that kind of like link between us, where it's like, hey, we've got similar interests here, or we run like or dabble in the same kind of like fan groups. But the other tattoo that I want. The one that I think if I could get a tattoo that I would really want would be the one from Big O that says, cast in the name of good, ye not guilty.
Yeah.
That would be the one, because that's just the shit.
That is really badass.
So for those of you that are unaware, the one time I looked it up, and the only thing I could find when I Googled it, the only thing I could find that they said this is the closest interpretation or whatever where they think it came from was supposedly the executioners back in the day that like on the either handle of the axe or on the blade it had the words cast in the name of good, ye not guilty, because they were executing people. And of course, execution is murder, but they're carrying out, the work of the king of the law or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they weren't considered murderers because they're doing the work of the law or, the church or whatever, depending on what time period it was.
Kicking ass for the Lord.
Right. So it was like, cast in the name of good, ye not guilty. And I thought that'd be something really cool to kind of have as far as a tattoo.
Yeah.
So
hey people, if you really want to show your nerd cred, you should get the symbol of the Deathly Hallows tattooed on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can get a Horcrux tattoo. As you do, you get a bunch of friends, and each one of you you get your symbol. Each one of you you get 7 friends, right?
Yeah.
And you have your symbol, and each one of them gets tattooed with your symbol, right? And then you get tattooed with each one of their symbols.
Oh, yeah.
So that way, all of you have to die in order for all of you to be killed.
Yeah.
So, because if one of you is still alive, then all the rest of you are still alive too.
Knowing my luck, mine would be Heart.
What are we, Captain Planet?
Yeah. Remember the video with Captain Planet turning people into trees, and the Heart guy was like, "No, Captain, my heart's sad."
Yeah.
Okay, so this is totally off topic, so it's a really bad note to end on, but I do want to throw this out there just because we've been talking about cosplay this episode.
Okay.
Body paint. You mentioned body paint.
Did I?
Yep, you did.
I did.
And for the love of God, people, if you're gonna wear body paint, make sure it covers all of you. Because there's been so many damn times that we have seen cosplayers or people in costume with just these big patches of where the body paint is not covering them properly.
Right.
And so you no longer look like a skinny Hulk or a skinny Thanos or whatever. You just look like somebody with shitty colored paint on them. And it totally ruins the illusion. It wouldn't take that much extra effort.
Right, and a second coat is never a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want your body paint to be streaky. There's nothing worse than a streaky Yondu.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awful. That is probably my biggest cosplay pet peeve.
Really?
I don't like the fake fans. I don't like the people who aren't there to interact. And, we've seen it a lot of times where it's like, oh yeah, hey, that's a really nice Watchmen cosplay, and then they just like shoot you this dirty look like, how dare you engage.
Right.
It's like, yeah, all that's frustrating, but the thing that makes me just like want to stand up and just be like, get out now, it's the people where it's like, no, the entire underside of your left arm is just skin tone. Yeah. It totally destroys the illusion. I hate it.
Yeah, I agree. It's horrible. It's almost like when a woman puts on makeup, but she just goes to her jawline, doesn't go under the
Yeah.
chin, and it's like, oh, it's like you were fine until you looked up it, and then I was like, what? And I said it probably sounds like I'm like making fun of women, but I don't know too many guys that wear that wear makeup. So,
but yeah. Anyway, so that's, like I said, that's not the best note to end on, but that's probably a good point for us to stop.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I think some people probably thought we should stop way back when we said, "Hey, this is."
Hey, it's us.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, thanks for giving us a listen, folks. Be sure to check out some of our other episodes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're passing a mic to me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah, our other episodes are really good, and we actually are funny in those, and we don't just sit there and talk about our opinions on things. But honestly, our opinions are really important.
What episodes are you talking about?
They should be your opinions too, because we care. We care about the things that we like, and we care about being right.
It's going to be the tagline to the podcast. We care about the things that we like, and we care about being right.
So, but no, yeah, check out our other episodes. It's really cool, and we enjoy doing this. We have a lot of fun, and we're hoping that a lot of you guys are having fun too, just listening to us. And we try to vary things up too. We try to be somewhat serious, but always a little bit funny. And then sometimes we just want to be just all outright goofballs. Please check us out more. Listen to some of our older podcasts. Hey, make sure you give us a nice rating. 5 stars is always good. Anything less than 5 stars is not good. So even if you laughed once, right, or you were like, this is so fucking stupid, and then you like turned away, hey, you got to laugh. If this is a restaurant, you still have to pay me. So 5 stars. Yeah.
Why are you not listening to more? We could be right here in your ears.
We could come to your house and do this in your living room, on your front lawn.
It's gonna be
your neighbors could see us.
That's going to be one of our Patreon tiers to unlock. It's like we'll come to your house and do a live podcast.
Oh yeah,
in your living room.
Yep. If we, depending on, as long as they don't live you far away, because we have a lot of equipment that we have to take, like a microphone, a computer, and
it would just be a live podcast. We're not going to record it. We're just going to stand there and talk in their living room for an hour.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
$1,000 a month, people.
Yep. So yeah, make sure you visit our Patreon. That we'll never have. I say never. Because I just don't believe in Patreon. I just don't. And
I'm a fan.
I'm not. Well, so I should say Patreon with some things. And I know some people. A lot of people that I follow in different things. They have Patreons and stuff. And I'm like that they do what they do. And I'm not gonna be like they're horrible people. I can't see us doing this, man. I mean, we do this for fun, and there's no way that I can justify asking somebody to pay or give me like 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many monsters there are out there.
could be 7 or 8, maybe even 9 or 10.
But I can't see asking somebody to give us like $3 to $5 a month.
Guys, don't tell Turk about the Patreon yet. It's too soon.
I can't see asking them to do that when we're not giving you the same kind of content that something like a Hulu or Netflix or Disney Plus is given for the same amount of money, or even just a little bit more. Like that to me, it's like how can you judge the two of them? That's I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. I just think that I'm not gonna say I think it's wrong. It just doesn't fit well for me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we'll catch you folks later.
Yep.
Until like change Turk's mind on the Patreon, you can just like donate directly to our PayPal.
But we have a PayPal? I mean, I have one. I know you have one. But does our moms think it'd be funny to have a PayPal?
Not yet, but I mean, it's gonna have to after this episode.
You are lying. You have one. You're just waiting until I say okay. You'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and get that set up tomorrow.
I can't even tell you about the Patreon that we've already set up for the channel based off of all this speech that you just gave. So, bye, everybody.
Now I can't even do it, Zang, yo. No, I can't Zang, yo.
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.